Welcome everyone, my name's Phil and I'll be your teacher here for this session on Say Something by A Great Big World. Now this is kind of a heart-wrenching piece, but it's still beautiful. It's very pretty, it's a ballad, it's a powerful piece. We're going to be learning the accompaniment style arrangement, and that means we're not playing the melody in our right hand like we might traditionally do. Instead, we're going to be getting two hands up, playing chords in the right hand, some bass notes in the left hand. We're going to be playing the piano part without the melody so that we can accompany the melody. We'll get into all that in just a bit. For now, let me play you the entire arrangement that I'm going to be teaching you, that you're going to be able to learn and play by the end of this thing. Check it out. All right, guys, so there's a lot of chords happening there, a lot of measures of music to play, but we're going to get there. There's a lot of repetition. Once you learn a few of these chords, you're going to see that they cycle through that chord progression through most of the song with a little bit of variations, okay? So you may have noticed we're playing the intro, we're playing a verse, we're getting through into the chorus. This is a little arrangement of this piece that gets through the main pieces, the main chunks, the main sections, all right? So I'm going to teach you all this stuff. We're going to start right now. Let's get our right hand up, and we're going to start with this intro first. Ready? Now, I said get your right hand up, but if we take a look at the notation, we can actually see we're looking at a bass staff. Now, usually that tells us we're playing with our left hand because the bass staff covers the range of notes on the keyboard around here, right? This is where our left hand usually goes. But we also see an RH written above. That reminds us this is actually our right hand's part. However, we're not going to be up here like we might usually be. We're going to be down in that bass staff range. So our first note that we see here is a D, just above middle C, and it says 5 finger. That's our right hand's 5th finger, okay? So this is our starting position right here. We can get our 5th finger on D. We're going to play a few of those by itself. Time signature here is in 3, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And then we get into our chords, okay? So I'm going to teach you the chords now, then we'll back up again. We'll play through all of this. The first chord we see here is B minor. We can tell by looking at that chord symbol. Now it happens to be in an inversion, another way of saying the notes of that chord are mixed up in a different order, so that we have D on the top of the chord still. That was the top note we were just playing, right? So this is the hand position and the shape that I want you to be in when you're playing those first few notes, right? Because after you play them, you're going to need to immediately play that chord. So why not be ready for that B minor? Thumb on F sharp. Don't forget that key signature over here tells us that all Fs and Cs are sharp automatically in this key. It's the key of D major, or B minor is the relative minor, okay? So that just is to say that if you see an F or a C in the notation, it's going to be sharp automatically. Our first chord, B minor, has that in it. F sharp on the bottom, third finger on B, fifth finger on D. Okay, we're going to play two of those chords. B minor, again. Now, next chord, G major. Look at this, we're just moving the bottom note up to G. The other two notes stay the same. We'll do that chord twice as well. Next we have a D major chord. It's also in an inversion so that the D note can be on top. Check this out. We're bringing our first finger back down to F sharp, but our middle note is now A with our two finger. That's the difference between this chord and that B minor chord. Remember, the middle note was here. Well, now we're in this D chord. The only difference is that middle note is here. So B minor, moving just the bottom note up to G for our G major chord, moving our bottom two notes down to F sharp and A, again keeping the top note on D. This is our D major chord. Again, we'll play this twice. Our final chord here is going to require a bit more movement. Here it is. All right, this is an A major chord. We finally don't have our D on top anymore, right? Now we have a C on top, but not any C. Our key signature tells us it's a C sharp, right? Middle note is 2 on A, and then our thumb is reaching down to this E. That's our chord, E, A, C sharp. 1, 2, and 4 fingers. Now let me play through these 4 chords again, one at a time. Pay attention to what notes move, what fingers move, and what does not move. Ready? Here's B minor. Now G major. Now D major. Now thumb down, 4th finger on C sharp for A major. All right, so let's take a pause for a minute and collect ourselves. We've just walked through this whole intro for the right hand. A couple of single notes, a couple of chords, and some rhythms as well. Let's go over this again, and this time I want to bring in our backing track. We've got strings and a nice full band to play along with here that kind of sounds like the recording, so this will be fun. But before we go to full speed, I want to try to work on these rhythms and timing and everything at a slower tempo. Let's start with a slow speed first. I'm going to play it in time for you. Check it out. Get 5 finger on D and play. Watch that scroll bar. D. One more. Now chord. Again. Bottom note up to G. Again. Shifting down to D. One more. Now our A chord. 1, 2, 4. Stretch that thumb. Good job. So even at the slow speed, that can be a little fast. I want to encourage you guys to always take your time, practice at a slow speed for several times, maybe many times, no matter what, but especially when you're working on new material you've just learned. And of course, this being lesson 1 of this session, this is all new material for now. So start slow, work your way towards that full tempo gradually. Now, having said that, I'm going to demo it for you at full speed now so you can get a sense of what this is supposed to feel like. Here we go. What I'd like to do now is show you the left hand part We'll work on that for a moment, and then we'll put the hands together for this intro. Let's get started. And right now, we're looking at the grand staff, right? We've got right hand and left hand notation stacked together. The top staff is the right hand, the bottom staff is the left hand, even though we have two bass clefs over there on the left. Remember, that doesn't mean two left hands have to play. Instead, that means both hands are playing together, but lower in range on the instrument. That bass clef represents this lower stretch of notes, okay? So the right hand is playing here. Left hand comes in about halfway through with this note right here, and that's a B. So let's forget about the right hand for now, that top staff. Let's just focus in on the bottom staff for the left hand. Starting with B with our third finger, that puts us right here into this position. We can call that a G major 5-finger position, right? Lowest note's G. Each finger falls to the right on a note consecutively. We're going to start with that third finger on B, and notice we have a tie. We're tying to another B. We're not going to play two Bs. That tie means we hold through the second note. We combine their durations. So we'll play the first B, we'll hold into the second B. Then we go to fifth finger on G. Again, holding, tying to another G. Next we have first finger on D, tying to another D. And finally, fourth finger on A, tying to another A. My friends, maybe you noticed it, maybe not yet. I'm going to point out what we're playing in the left hand here are the roots of each of these chords that we just learned for the right hand. When we have a B minor chord, well, the left hand's playing B. Next, we have a G chord, right? That G chord symbol, well, we have a G in the left hand. That's the root of the G chord. Next up, we have our D chord. The root of a D chord is, of course, D. So that's what we have in the left hand. Next, we have an A chord. Left hand's playing A. See how that works? So when we go to put these hands together and play it all accurately and in time and all that, we have to make sure we know when the hands are playing at the same time and when the left hand is holding while the right hand is playing. Okay, that's going to be the trick of this. So first, what I want to do is kind of walk through this out of time. We'll get our right hand up to start. We're playing D with our fifth finger, but we also want to anticipate that first B minor chord in the right hand by getting into that shape. So here it is. We're ready to play it, but we're going to start just by playing these Ds up here. We're also going to get our left hand in position, into this G position, waiting with our third finger on B. Check this out. Starting with right hand. Together. But here, left hand ties over while the right hand plays again. We're going to see a lot of this throughout this arrangement, so I want you guys to really pay attention here. Next chord, same thing. Left hand G, right hand G chord, same time. But then, look, left hand ties over, right hand plays again. Same rhythmic pattern on the next one. D major chord, D in the left hand, same time. Left hand holds, right hand plays again. Now A chord, same time. Left hand holds, right hand plays. One more time for you guys just on the chords. B minor, left hand holds, right hand again. G major, together, now right. D major, together, now right. A major, together, now right hand. So that's what we're working with here. That's our challenge that we've got to work on. So let's now try to do this in time. Same thing we just worked on, same thing I just showed you, but we're going to bring our strings back in, all right? We need our orchestra here. We're going to listen for the chords in the background to make sure that we're changing at the right times. And we're going to make sure we're not speeding up or slowing down. That's the benefit of playing with these tracks, okay? Let's start slow. Once we feel good there, we'll speed it up. Let's get both hands in position, starting now. Get that left hand third ready. Right hand chord, now. Right hand again. Now both hands change. Left hand holds. Next chord, together. Now just right hand. A chord, together. Now right. All right, so Again, we're not in a hurry here, especially when you move on to practice this on your end. Keep it slow. But I'm going to show you full tempo now, again, to just give you a sense of how this is supposed to sound. And when you move on your end, you can use that as a reference.